The daily practice that made the Stoics unshakable. You wake up. Before your eyes are fully open, your phone is already in your hand. Notifications. Headlines. Someone's opinion about something that happened overnight. And just like that, before you have even spoken a word, the day owns you. You are already reacting. Already behind. Already living on someone else's terms. Here is the thing. That feeling, that sense of being swept away before you even begin, is not new. It is not a product of social media or the modern world. The ancient Stoics felt it too. The pull of distraction. The noise of crowds. The pressure of expectation arriving before breakfast. They felt all of it. But what if I told you they found a precise, repeatable practice to meet that feeling head-on? Not a vague philosophy. Not abstract advice. A daily structure that rebuilt their minds from the inside out, every single morning, before the world could take hold. That is what this video is about. Not habits for productivity. Not a morning routine designed to squeeze more output from your hours. Something deeper than that. The Stoics were not trying to be more efficient. They were trying to become unshakable. And trust me, if you stay until the end, the final practice they used is the one most people overlook entirely, and it might be the most powerful of all. Welcome to the Unshaken Order. If this kind of ancient wisdom applied to real life is what you are here for, subscribe now. A new video drops every week and every one of them is built to give you something you can actually use. The first thing to understand is this. The Stoics did not treat the morning as the beginning of a to-do list. They treated it as a threshold. A moment before the world made its demands, where the mind could be deliberately set. Marcus Aurelius opened his meditations with a practice so simple it almost sounds too easy. He listed the difficult people he expected to encounter that day. The ungrateful. The arrogant. The dishonest. And then he reminded himself, as he wrote in Meditations, that they are that way because they do not know the difference between good and evil. That insight was not negative thinking. It was armor. He was inoculating himself against the sting of other people's behavior before it arrived. In your life, this looks like this. Before you check your messages, before you open anything, pause and name what is likely to challenge you today. A difficult conversation. A pressure at work. A person who drains you. Name it. Expect it. The Stoics called this premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of adversity. You are not inviting disaster. You are refusing to be surprised by reality. Epictetus never owned a pen and paper the way Marcus did. He was a former slave who taught in a small school in Nicopolis, and his students wrote down everything he said. What they recorded became the Discourses, one of the most direct and unsparing texts in all of Stoic philosophy. His central question was brutal in its simplicity. He asked, in the Enchiridion, this, of all the things I am about to do today, which are in my power, and which are not? That is it. That is the whole practice. And yet almost nobody asks it. In 2025, this means sitting down for 2 minutes and sorting your mental list. The presentation you have prepared? In your power. Whether the client approves it. Not in your power. Your effort? Yours. The outcome? Not entirely yours. Your response to criticism? Yours. The criticism itself? Not yours. The Stoics did not teach passivity. Epictetus was clear about that. You work hard. You prepare. You show up fully. But you do not attach your peace to what you cannot control. That attachment is the source of almost every form of daily suffering you experience. Every morning you spend 2 minutes making the distinction is a morning where anxiety loses its grip. Seneca wrote letters every single day. Not for publication. Not for an audience. For clarity. His letters to Lucilius are some of the most intimate philosophical documents ever written, a man reasoning with himself in real time, catching his own contradictions, naming his own avoidance. In letter 1 he wrote, quote, "Reclaim yourself, and recover the time that was being forced away from you, stolen away, and slipping through your fingers." That was not advice for Lucilius alone. It was Seneca speaking to himself before the day consumed him. Writing is how the Stoics made their thinking visible. When a thought stays inside your head, it loops. It grows. It distorts. When you write it down, it becomes an object you can examine. You can test it. You can ask, is this thought rational, or is it just fear dressed up as planning? The practice here is direct. Before the day begins, write 3 things. 1. What are you carrying that you cannot control? Name it and set it down on the page. 2. What would a good version of you do today? Not a perfect version. A good one. 3. What do you want to remember by the time tonight arrives? 3 sentences is enough. This is not journaling as therapy. This is journaling as calibration. Cato the Younger is not quoted as often as Seneca or Marcus, but his life was the argument. He walked barefoot through the streets of Rome, not out of poverty but out of principle. He trained his body the way he trained his character, deliberately, without comfort as the goal. The Stoics understood something that modern self-help has only recently rediscovered. The state of your body shapes the state of your mind. Chrysippus, one of the most rigorous of all the Stoic philosophers and the man responsible for building its logical architecture, taught that the soul and the body were not separate systems. How you carry yourself physically influences how you reason. This does not require a 2-hour gym session. It requires movement with intention. Cold water. A walk. Anything that reminds your body it is capable and your mind that it is housed in something real. The point is not performance. The point is the message you send to yourself before the world sends its own. You are not fragile. You are not at the mercy of comfort. You are, in the words Cato lived by, ready. Here is what most people never realize about the Stoic morning. All of it, the reflection, the writing, the movement, the mental preparation, pointed toward one central act. Alignment with virtue. Not just asking what do I need to do today, but asking who do I need to be today. Zeno of Citium, who founded Stoicism after losing everything in a shipwreck and walking into a bookshop in Athens, built his entire philosophy around one idea. Virtue is the only good. Not wealth. Not reputation. Not even health. Those things are, in Zeno's term, preferred indifference. They are nice to have. But they are not the measure of a life. Every morning the Stoics asked not what can I achieve but what kind of person am I about to be. And then they took one small, concrete step in that direction before the first distraction arrived. For you, today, this is the question: if you acted in perfect alignment with your values from the moment you step outside, what would that actually look like? Not in theory. In practice. In the first conversation you have. In the first decision you face. In the way you respond to the first thing that goes wrong. That is the practice. Chosen identity before reactive circumstance. This is what made the Stoics unshakable. Not that nothing ever went wrong. Everything went wrong for them. Marcus ruled an empire during plague and war. Seneca was exiled twice. Epictetus was enslaved. Cato watched everything he believed in collapse around him. They were not protected from difficulty. They were prepared for it. Every single morning, deliberately and without exception, they prepared for it. The practice is not complicated. But it requires the one thing most people are not willing to give it. Their first 10 minutes. Before the phone. Before the news. Before the noise. Give your morning to yourself. The rest of the day will take everything else. If this kind of thinking is something you want more of, subscribe to the Unshaken Order. There is a video waiting for you next that goes even deeper into how the Stoics handled the moments when the practice breaks down, when life hits harder than any morning routine prepared you for. That one is worth your time. Go watch it now.